So you've probably landed on this video because you want to learn how to make beautiful graphics for your team or for your business or what have you. And so I'm going to go over some recognition graphics that you can make and create for your team, and just to recognize people if you have a business to where you need to be, doing some occasional shout outs. And so what I'm going to do is start with basically a template design from basically just a Facebook post, because more than likely you're going to be posting this on your Facebook groups or on your Facebook page. And so you may as well start with the size in mind of where you're going to be posting this. And the other really cool thing about Canva is if you have the pro version, you can actually change or resize a document and just start fitting everything perfectly. However, for this particular training, I'm just going to go basic and keep it very super simple. And so what I'm going to do is just come right up here and search for Facebook post and see what pops up. Let's see, here we go. And so that's already the perfect dimensions. And then what I'm going to do is start with just a blank Canva design or a blank template in mind, just because it is so much easier for me to work with just a blank template and build out exactly what I'm looking for. Sometimes it can be helpful to have to use some of these templates that you'll see in the sidebar menu to the left over here, but for the most part for me, I just found that it was a lot easier just to build it from scratch. So you want to think about your company, and you probably have graphics that you may that you may be allowed to use from your company. However, if you can't use the company's graphics just because of copyright issues, and a lot of times that is definitely our biggest hurdle whenever we're in a company like a direct sales company or anything like that, or network marketing, that's one of the things that you definitely want to be mindful of. So just go with generic is the way I get around that. And so I think about my business or the company that I work for, and what are their brand colors, or what is my favorite color, or what is your team color. You can kind of start there. And so then what I would do is come over here to this little sidebar menu that says elements, come to the search bar and type in pink office, and this is going to bring up a ton of different graphics and options for you to use and start to really work from the ground up. So what I'm going to do to kind of narrow this down a little bit more is click on photos. And so this totally scales down your your pictures and all the different things, because when you have all, it actually includes photos, graphics, videos, audio, and just all those things. And so you really don't need that. You don't need all of those options. You're generally just looking for a photo that speaks to you and talks to you. And so that's what I would kind of look for. And the really cool thing, say like if I wanted to use this photo here, I would just click it and pull it, and then it's going to snap in. And say if I wanted this little part of the picture to be what is in the center here, just double click the picture like this, and then just move it. And if you need to, then you can kind of size it up, size it down, pull it from the corners, that sort of thing. And so then you can see here. Now it does get a little tricky when you're doing that, so just know that it's it may be something that you kind of have to kind of work with, and just kind of get it where you exactly want it. So what I'm going to do is let's try this one here. And so let's say that we wanted to go with this graphic here. What you would do is actually kind of bring this down just a little bit in transparency. Whenever you click this icon up here, this is your transparency, and this is what's going to soften that background and just give it just a little bit of a softer touch, which is really nice, and it does tend to make the graphics look a little bit more professionally done. And so what you're going to do now is you need to add in some the person's name, and then whatever their accomplishment is, or the shout out that you're wanting to do for that person. And so the way that you're going to do that is, let's first also start by adding in a picture of the person. So say like I was going to shout out myself, because it's just going to be easier that way, because I have tons of pictures of myself just because I create graphics all the time. What I would highly suggest for you to do is to create a folder and throw in and upload a bunch of pictures that you have purposely taken of yourself. So I would do like an intentional photo shoot of you pointing left, you pointing up, pointing right, and pointing down, and just all the different poses that you could possibly think of. You'll also want to do like, you know, like, what are you thinking photos or a shocked photo. And so you'll see that, whoa, I did not mean to zoom in on that. So you'll see that there's tons of different options that you can see here. And then I actually also have, I have two because I needed different pictures for different things, and then I needed some updated headshots and that sort of thing. I do all of my headshots myself through my cell phone, but however, you want to just be sure that you have on purpose photos of you working, of you doing your thing, just so that you'll have these types of photos to plug into graphics to make the graphics look even cooler. So let's just go with pictures of me, because I know I've got a pretty, you know, a decent headshot here that's going to be symmetrical and work for this design that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to pull this graphic all the way over here to the corner. Now, the biggest mistake I sometimes see people doing is they pull in graphics and they don't remove the background. You've got to remove the background because it doesn't look like it goes there. And so it just really, you know, kind of, you know, takes away from the picture and it doesn't look as good on the graphic. And so what you want to do is go to edit. You want to click this image and come right here to edit image, and then you want to come to BG remover, and this is going to just remove that background and make this image pop a lot better. And if you don't have the pro version of Canva, you can totally go to remove.bg and remove the background from any photo for free. And then once we get the background removed, then we're just going to put apply, and then voila, your image is there, and it just looks so pretty and so professional. And then you can make it as big or as small as you want, depending on your liking. So now what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and start, you know, let me kind of scale this down just a little bit. And then now what I want to do is come right back here to elements, and we're going to hit elements again, so it brings us back to the home page here. And now what you want to do is think about the shout out that you need to give to this person. And so say like we wanted to go with the image like I'm going to pop up right here now on the screen. Now just look at those, the circles and things like that. Now what we need to do is come right over here to lines and shapes. This will always be on that home screen menu of the elements tab here, so you can just click circle. Okay, and once you click circle, it's going to pop your circle in here, and you can size it as accordingly. And it may, you know, you may have to go back and size things out a little differently once you get all of the graphics and, you know, portions of this put together. It'll be a little easier for you to know how to size things. So you've got this circle selected, and the way we know it's selected is it has the pull bars, all 4 pull bars, and we can see that the purple square is around it here. So you're just going to click here, which is this little square up top, and that's going to allow you to change this to any color you wanted to. So you could, I mean, really from red all the way to you know, this end of the spectrum here. So anyways, if you have specific brand colors that you use and you have them plugged into Canva, then you can totally use those to kind of work from. But however, we're just going to assume that we're just kind of getting started with things, and so we're going to make this circle white. And then now that the circle's white, we need to click these 3 dots right here, and then now we need to click the transparency bar and bring that down just a little bit, just so we know that it's going to be a little bit translucent looking. Now what we're going to do is go around to do the frame around the circle. You want to search for circle frames, and this is going to pull up all the different types of frames that they have in, you know, inside of Canva here. So you could totally just kind of search till you find what you like. Say like we wanted to go, you know, with this, we could size this down just a little bit here, and you could make this like whatever color you wanted to. Okay, and then now let's make this something on brand or something to match, say like your clothes or the person's clothes or shirt. There would be all kinds of options. And actually, let me make my circle back here like a light pink. There we go. It's just going to look a little better aesthetically. just because our picture is not as bold on the background and it's kind of white, so we're going to really need something to pop here, and so this is going to totally allow for that to happen. But you can see that there are tons of different options here, and you then, once you select, say like one style, then you'll see this little recommendations pop-up box come up, and you can then hit see all, and then it's going to just pull in a lot more other options, and then voila, here's the one that I'm actually seeing that was on the image that we're kind of working from. So right here we could change this to this color, and we could just leave it that lighter gray. Let's see. Okay, so now let's just change this out to where we can size it down. Okay. And then when you move this back and forth like that, you see that purple cross that comes up? That lets us know that that is dead center of that circle. So now what you're going to do, say like you needed to create, you know, a few of these, group these together or grab both layers, because this inside of Canva you're working in layers. So this dotted circle frame that's on top here of that translucent circle, it's layered. So you just want to be sure you get both of those and then just group them. And then once you do that, then you can click the three dots again and then click duplicate, and then voila, you've got yourself, like, you can just boom 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 and just knock this right on out. So say like if there were a few accolades that this person had and you really wanted to highlight those things, you could totally do that. So let's just say there was 3 accolades for this individual. You could totally you know, get those in, and then that center, that's inside of that box. And so I'm looking at this inner box that's highlighted in purple, and I try to just keep things, you know, within that, because it just makes for, you know, it just, you know, works a little better. And whenever you're uploading it online, there will be some areas that'll get cut off, and so if you're within this box right here, this is going to be kind of the little safe zone of what people are going to see. So you want your more important information to kind of be, you know, center or within that little box. Okay, so now let's go over here to text. And so text, you'll see down here below there's tons of different options that you can totally choose from and pick. And so say like you wanted the one that was on the graphic that we were looking at, you're just going to click glow, and this right here is going to be that graphic. Okay, so you can go actually to effects, and so you can come right here and make this even more and lower intensity of a glow, or, you know, a little bit brighter. So there's tons of just different options. And so what we'll do, this also, you can change the text and, you know, choose which text you'd like. And so for our font, we're going to use League Spartan, because this is going to be a really nice bold font, and you can totally, like, you know, just use this. You can use any font that you want, but, you know, this one's going to be a nice bold one, and it kind of goes along with what we were working from. And so now we're going to go and click just right back here to the text portion of, to the text menu on our sidebar menu here, and you can scroll and look and see, like, hey, you know, where is that cursive looking handwriting that you see? And so the you're invited, it's moon time. That would be similar to the one that you've seen in that graphic. And we're just going to size this down. And now what we're going to do, because these two items, these two fonts are actually grouped together, we're just going to come to the 3 dots, hit ungroup, and that way you can easily, you know, work with it and edit that area. So say like this person is a senior, you know, consultant. Now the one thing that you will notice is it also looks like it's got a little bit of a haziness around it. So what you're going to do is come here to the to effects on your top bar menu here, and come to lift, and what you want to do is just do is intensify that. And so you see it's kind of darkening up around there, and so that's how you do that. And so that gives it just a little bit of visual interest there. with that around there. So now you could change this, and so you see that it's given it a little bit more visual interest. And then now we can, and if you're on a Mac computer, you can click shift. You can click shift and hold it down and then click again, and it allows you to click both of these at the same time. And then you can change this by going to text color and changing it over to black, and so then that changes that font color. So it's just going along with the theme and graphic design of, like I said, this particular design. And so now what we're going to do is also put in the bottom here. Okay, and so to create the 625 and bonuses that you see down here in the bottom left corner here, all you need to do is come to, what we're going to use is this little thin font here. It's called AC Steelfish, and I'm going to just tighten this up and pull from the corners just to make it a little bit bigger. And then now what I'm going to do is delete that out of there, do my number sign, and then I'm going to do 625 and bonuses. Okay. Now I'm going to just make sure all that's selected, and I'm going to do this lighter pink just so it's pretty, and it kind of goes along with the color themes that we're using currently. And so now what we're going to do is just come right here to effects, click splice, and then we're going to just adjust these accordingly. Now this looks actually pretty perfect, but let me just make it a little bit bigger so I can see what I'm looking at here. And let's just bring this down to the thickness down to about 29%, and I think that's going to give us kind of close to what we're looking for. Let's take the offset to 0, and let's bring the direction right to the center here, as close to center as we can get. There we go, 0. Perfect. Okay, so now we can see, all right, this is really coming together and really starting to look like what I'm seeing here. And now what we're going to do is put our accolades across the top. And so let's go ahead and come right back over here to text, and I'm just going to grab this small text here, and we'll start there, but we'll see, we'll probably need to change it up here in just a second. And what you want to do is just put in, say like it's the $300 club. Say like we wanted to find a text that was similar to what it says there in like the 700 club. So we could just do light, type in light in the search bar area for text, and this is going to bring up all the light options for text that Canva has. And Canva has like a gajillion options, and so like you could really just go with one that really suits you and makes sense for what the one you personally like. So just know that just because we're kind of modeling this one right like off of this one, just know that that's how you would go about finding a text or a text similar to a design that you're trying to recreate. And so, or you could do bold, light bold, or something like that, and put that in the search bar area, and it's going to generate those results. So this right here is say like the 300 club, and then if you wanted to do the extra 9% enhanced commissions, and so you're just going to come right back here to text, click moon time, and then just do extra 9% enhanced. And I gotta blow this up just a little bit. And so say like if we wanted to see what other type of script fonts that they have, you just come here and go to script, and it you know what, it may be playful script. There we go, that's it, we got it. And then now, so go right here back to the spacing and do letter spacing, and that's going to allow you to kind of drag, like pull that out a little bit, and give you just a little bit of space in between there. Now this is a very similar text to what was in there, but I don't know that it's the exact one, and in order to find that, you would probably have to go through, come right here, click the script box, and then you would have to just manually look for it. And this would bring up all the script fonts here. And like I said, this one's very similar, but there may be just a few more tweaks to it to create that exact replica. However, this is pretty close if this is the design that you're wanting to go with. And right here, you would just need to kind of, and then right here, you would just kind of put your design. And if we were going to make this exact one, then let's see, let me make sure all of these circles are the same size. That one needs to go just a little bit bigger. And so to make sure your circles are the same size, you see that purple dotted line that comes across the top? It lets me know that the top is the same size as the one next to it. So, and then right here, it does the same across all three. And so that just lets me know now all three circles are the same height on the top. And you could check that as well on the bottom if you needed to. And you see all three circles on the bottom are the same exact size, and they're all where they need to be centered. And so right here, if you wanted to, you could, do your text here to create this logo that they have here. Logo here. Let's just put that there, just so we can kind of know that this is just a, a mock-up of this. And then you want to just find you, I always like for a thin, let's see what they've got for thin. Let's go with this. Let's see if this will work. And then go to effects, and then you just want to hit this curve right here so that it curves it. And then you can now decide how tight that curve is, okay? And then when you pull the corners, because you do want this to kind of flow with, fall with inside of here, you just pull those corners to make it a little bit bigger. And then now what you're going to do is just, now that you've got that selected, just hit duplicate. And then now we're just going to move this down, and we're going to move this curve like that to go all the way negative so that it kind of flows with this one. So that one's at 56, so let's do negative 56 so everything matches perfectly. There we go, on the logo portion here, okay? And then there we are. Maybe need to tighten. Let's see if we can change this to 18.2. Okay. And then say we wanted to do that logo, I'll just do my initial, which is SS, and we'll just go an S, and I'm just gonna make this kind of bigger, and it's not exactly what we need. That looks kind of fancy and logo-ish, if that makes sense. And so I'm going to tighten that as much as possible. And now what I'm going to do is come here to the three dots, do a double click, and then now I'm going to just kind of have this one at a little bit of a slant. Come back over here to elements, double click so that it brings up lines and shapes, and I'm going to click this shape here, and then what I'm going to do is pull this to a 90-degree angle because you want it to be completely 90 degrees, completely straight. And we're going to have to get this all centered here, okay? And sometimes it gets a little wonky because there's a lot of different things with inside of here. So we just have to kind of make it do what we want it to do a lot of times. This may be as close to 90 degrees as we can get. Let's see. There's 90. And then maybe we could bring it. As soon as we bring it into that circle, I feel like it doesn't want to do its 90 degrees anymore. And so let's see if I can move. Oh, dear. Let's click out of here and let me just. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll consider that as straight as possible. Now you could actually make this line weight a little thicker or lighter. Now I know you can't see it, unfortunately, but say like we're gonna go down to 3. You see it's definitely made it a little lighter in how wide it is, and so you can kind of move it back and forth and see it a little bit more easily, and kind of critique that and change that as you need to. And say like you didn't want the dotted line around this one, so you would just come here and ungroup, and you would click the dotted line, and then we'd come back here and look for the little gold rim, gold frame. And so we'd come back to elements and do gold frame. Okay, and let's see what we get. And just see what comes up. You may even could click just like I did that single circle and then see all, and then it's going to bring in even more options here that's similar to that. And so that is one way of doing it. That was that first one I clicked. Okay, all right. And so to make that not as flashy, just click the transparency and bring that down a little bit, and then there you go. Voila, creates that same effect. And you'll see, like I said, you'll see even more as you go. So just know it's one of these things that you're gonna learn and see how to do once you get to doing this over and over, and you'll get a an eye for design and what you want your graphics to personally look like. And so that's really the cool thing about this, is you will kind of come into your own, and you could actually make this a little brighter just so it pops and stands out like the one there. And that outline color is all I changed on this graphic, just so it pops and stands out a lot more. Okay, and so then say for instance, another popular feature that I see a lot of people doing now is the outline around the body. And so what you want to do is come right here to edit image, and then do and then come to shadows, and then do glow, and then say like you wanted to make that glow a pink, like that pink that is, that you're using here in the graphic. So you can size this up so it's a little bit more of a glow. If you want it to be a more defined line, then you would do it like that. Okay, and so just know, since we kind of went with a little bit of a glow here, it would probably work to just do like a little bit of a blurred. And so it would probably work a little bit better just to do the whole glow effect, because it's going to match your name where it's got that glow there. So just know that that's how you kind of can create that. And you of course just want to hit apply before you really start messing around too much with it. Okay, and this is your graphic, and you can, like I said, size it up, change it up the way you need to. But I hope that this is super helpful in showing you how to do this. And say like, okay, so whenever you start creating a design inside of Canva, another really cool thing is Canva automatically updates and saves after each change you make to the document or update you make to the document. So I like to always click up here up top and name the graphic or name whatever the project is that I'm doing. And so I will call this, Facebook team shoutouts. And so this is kind of a quick little tutorial on how to create this graphic inspired by the picture on your screen now.